had weight loss surgery. So obviously this is after the fact. To be honest, the day of and like before, I was very nervous, so I actually didn't record anything. I have some pictures from the day of surgery which I'll show you, but yeah, sorry, not really a vlogger clearly by my channel, like you already know that, but I figured I would still do a recap of my surgery experience and try to answer any questions that you may have. If you have any questions that I don't address, feel free to comment them below and I will respond back to you. So on Wednesday, February 3rd was my day of surgery. I think I mentioned to you guys in the last video that I didn't have to go there until 1:15. I think I woke up at like 9. Yeah, I think I woke up around 9 and I literally didn't weigh myself. I forgot to weigh myself because I was so nervous. I like woke up, got dressed, came downstairs, and was like, let's go. We literally got there. We stopped at like 2 places. I had to drop off mail and like do something else, and we were still like 45 minutes early. So that's how like anxious and like kind of ready to go I was. So we get there, check in. My boyfriend was allowed to wait in the reception area with me, and we waited a little while there, filled out the forms, blah 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 blah. And then once I went back to like the first room, he could not go any further with me. So that was kind of sad, but to be honest, you don't really need a visitor, and I'll kind of get into this a little bit later, but if you're also by yourself, Judy, you know what, you'll be okay. I promise. Like the nursing staff, everything will be amazing. If not, yell at them. Don't yell at them, they're working very hard, but I guarantee you'll have a perfect experience. Like, don't worry about being alone. But before we get too far into this, I figured I would quickly go over what I packed in my hospital bag. So this is just the bag I bought and brought both. She cute. She matches one of the Hydro sleeves, so I was influenced to buy it, obviously. Do I need it? No, I have like a bajillion bags, but this one was kind of perfect size. So yeah, truthfully, I did not pack that much because everyone I talked to said they literally didn't use anything in their bag, and I agree. Plus I knew I would only be staying one night, like barring any complications, and if there were complications, I was assuming I wouldn't be like changing my outfit or like on my phone. So I was only scheduled to stay one night. And yeah, so I wore to the hospital yoga pants and a big sweatshirt and a really loose sports bra and underwear, of course, but you actually don't get to keep your underwear on. So if not shaving makes you uncomfortable, or like someone seeing you not shaved makes you uncomfortable, you might want to do that beforehand. Just a warning, you don't keep your underwear on for the surgery. You're welcome. So in my bag, this is gonna be all over the place, kind of how my brain was the day of surgery. Hope that's okay. So that's what I wore. In like clothes wise, all I literally packed was like 2 pairs of underwear, like a thong and a normal like granny panty pair, and because I normally just wear thongs, and a loose pair of sweatpants. These were actually them. Well, they're still turned inside out. Clearly I prepared for this video. Yeah, so just literally the biggest pair of sweatpants you can find, because you're not gonna really want anything around your waist, and that is literally it. And another loose sports bra. That's it clothes wise. And when I left the hospital, I wore the giant ass sweatpants, underwear, obviously my loose granny panty underwear, so I am glad I had those, the same loose sports bra and the same big sweatshirt that I wore into the hospital. So clothes wise, like I didn't change while I was in the hospital. I always had my gown on. I did put underwear on the second day because I was walking the hallways. That's literally the only reason. I just was kind of paranoid. My big butt was out for everyone to see. So I did put the granny panties on like earlier that day, and then when I left the hospital I just like slid my big sweatpants on over those. So that's what I did clothes wise. Again, you really don't need much. I didn't bring my own pillow or blankets. One, my hospital room was hot as bejesus. I swear they were trying to sweat me out of that place. They gave me 2 blankets and I literally never used any of them. I was just like in my gown, sprawled out, sweating. Actually wasn't sweating, but I also had a fever for a little bit, so maybe they weren't sweating me out. I think maybe I was just hot. Yeah, that's probably what it was. They also gave me 2 pillows. So, and your bed like adjusts. You can lay down, you can bring it up, you can roll to your side. Like a lot of people say your own pillow and blanket, and if you're like super specific about it, I guess bring it, but you're like so drugged up and like honestly I don't think I would have been comfortable that first night in doing anything, but again I'll get into this later. But I didn't bring a pillow or blanket, and I don't think I would have touched them had I. Just my input. On the side of the bag I brought my glasses case. So I wasn't able to wear contacts the day of, so I wore my glasses in and then put my glasses in here while I was in the hospital. I didn't wear my glasses. I just could, like, I can see people. I can't read anything. I can't like see every detail of their face, but I can like tell that's my nurse. I can tell that's my doctor, you know? So I just literally didn't put my glasses on until I was ready to leave. And then I also brought deodorant. I am glad I had this because I did not wear any the day of, because I saw somewhere, my doctor's office never told me I couldn't wear deodorant, but I saw somewhere that this has like a little bit of alcohol in it. Yeah, the second ingredient, active ingredient, is sterile alcohol, and apparently sometimes like it can cause a flame. I don't think it would have caused a problem because they never told me not to, but once that was in my head, I was too paranoid, so I did not wear any the day of. But then the next day, when I woke up, I put deodorant on and I felt a lot better. I literally just felt, just smelling this smell, which it is amazing if you don't know, made me feel a lot better. This, highly recommend you put in your bag. I also brought, I just have like the Tatcha lip stuff because I did a Tatcha like kit. I got a thing for Christmas. But any lip balm I would definitely bring. My hospital also gave me some like moisturizing lip balm, but theirs kind of sucked, for being honest. So bring your own. Like I had this one and I had a Carmex, and I used them both all the time. I also brought like a hair clip and mascara. Not even once did I think about touching that. I also brought hand cream, did not use. They had like some like toiletry stuff, like baby powder, some lotion and stuff in the bathroom too. They had a toothbrush and toothpaste, thank God, because I forgot mine. But they already had like a little kit set up for me in my bathroom, in my room. Maybe that's not the same for everyone. I would bring a toothbrush and a toothpaste. I just forgot because the morning of, we weren't thinking. So I did use that, obviously. Not the night of. The night of, I don't know what was going on. But the next day, you're gonna want a toothbrush. I swear, that deodorant was all I needed in life. And then as far as like electronics go, I brought my phone charger. Obviously, it's not here. I did bring a hair tie also. But my hair was up. Yeah, and I had to wear a hairnet for surgery, so that was kind of nice. I only have the butt right here, but my charger's upstairs. But I had my phone charger, and I also had a portable charger. I don't have like an extra long cord like everyone says to get. I also don't even know where a plug in my room was. I didn't look. But I just brought this fully charged, which could charge my phone for like a week. But to be honest, I never plugged my phone in. We'll get into that later. But I mean, I do think that's a good thing to have, like at least your charger, because while you're asleep or something, or while you're napping, the nurses could just plug it in. I'm sure you have a plug somewhere. I just didn't look. I would bring it, however, I didn't use it. So that's what I brought to the hospital. They like check it into a locker once you're like there. So at first, after reception, when I go back, I went into this room where I took my clothes off, got in the hospital gown, got in bed, and this is where they kind of did all the pre-op stuff. Like they put my IV in. I still have like some of the bandage marks, and I've showered twice since surgery. It is like day 5 after surgery or something. It's the 8th. But yeah, I need like rubbing alcohol besides the fact. So this arm is where they put most of the stuff. My IV was right here where like that bruise is. So not really like my elbow pit, and not my hand, which I was really grateful for. So yeah, my IV was there. They put that in there. You pee in a cup to make sure you're not prego. You get in bed, you start like panicking. They ask you a bunch of questions like, have you eaten since midnight? You know, all the normal stuff. Oh, you do get weighed. I think it was like 294 at the morning of. I'm telling you guys, especially once I was there, it was even worse. I really don't know what it was when I stepped on the scale. It's also the ones where it's like your back's to the number, so I don't know. I'm just going off of for like my post-surgery weight, what it was the Tuesday before I had surgery on Wednesday. I guarantee my weight wasn't that different. That's just what I'm going off of. Yeah, so that's kind of all they do in that room. My surgeon came back and said, hello, like, how am I doing? Blah, 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 blah. And so I went back to that room probably around 11:30 or 12, maybe around 12, a little before 12, probably noon. And then I was wheeled out of there. Oh, you also meet your anesthesiologist there too. And my anesthesiologists have been so nice. Like the one I had for light anesthesia for the endoscopy, she was like a sweet angel. And then this lady was so nice. I feel like they just know you're so anxious that you're about to freak out. They are godsend. So what even was I saying? So yeah, I went back to that room a little bit before 12, and I was wheeled to like the operating room at 3, I think. Yeah, so I was done doing like getting my IV, peeing, doing all that stuff by like a little before 2, and then I kind of just waited there for an hour. Like that's when my surgeon came back and introduced himself, and that's when I met the anesthesiologist and stuff. But I think I was wheeled back at like 3, I think. Don't quote me. This is kind of blurry. But right like as they were wheeling me back there, they put some stuff in your IV for nerves. So like I didn't even ask. I like heard about this, that people get this, and I was hoping I would. But the last thing I remember is being super nervous, then putting that in, and I was like, thank you, God. And then I was not nervous. Like, as they're wheeling me into the room, I'm just like, so whatever that stuff was, highly recommend. And then they put my bed, like, right next to the operating table, and then we, like, slide me over, me included. And then right away, they, like, put the oxygen mask on. And I'm assuming while they're doing that, they're putting something in my IV, because that is when I'm like out. The next thing I remember is like being probably like a quarter awake, like after surgery, and they're like counting my incisions, and I'm yelling at someone that my belly button hurts. I don't even have an incision in my belly button. I thought I was going to. So maybe it was like phantom pains. I don't know. I was yelling at someone immediately after, and I was telling them that I had a lot of pain in my chest. And I remember someone saying gas pains, and I was like, oh, this is what everyone was talking about. And then I literally think I was in and out for the entire day until like, I don't really come to remember anything until like 7:30 that night. And so I think there was like a pit stop. So after the operating room, I think there was a little pit stop where all the like me yelling at someone about my belly button happened. And then I was moved into like my final room. I think, again, that like middle part wasn't me. I don't know who was there. I don't know. But I do also in that time remember being like, oh, I'm awake. I didn't die. So that was a good feeling. But yeah, so then I remember like kind of waking up in my room. It was the evening at this point, and I felt great. I was kind of like, well, no, hold on. Immediately I was like, oh F, like I just did this. Like everyone says like it's kind of normal for the first like couple days to like kind of regret your decision, and I didn't regret it. I just had a second where I was like, I can't believe I actually like went through with it. You know what I mean? Like there's no going back now. I did it. That was like the immediate thing when I woke up. And my second thought was like, I feel really good. Like, are we sure we like took my stomach out? Did you just shrug me up for a little bit and now I'm like here, like what is going on? So I was like, oh my god, everyone is so dramatic. These pains are not that bad. It was like some discomfort in my chest, obviously. I hadn't walked yet that I know of. Again, I don't really know what happened in the middle part, but not that I know of. And yeah, I wasn't drinking anything yet either at all. Yeah, no. And that's kind of all I remember thinking for a little while until. But I also kept like falling in and out of sleep, by the way, like that evening. And again, until midnight. So from like midnight till like 6 a.m. I was like, I would sleep for maybe an hour, but I was in so much pain. And by like so much pain, I just mean like so much discomfort. Like my chest just like hurt. And these are the gas pains everyone's telling you about. And my mistake was that I didn't tell my doctor that I was in pain. Eventually at like 6 a.m. or my nurse, eventually at like 6 a.m. she came in, and at this point I literally had like tears in my eyes and was just like, I was like, is this normal? And she was like, yeah, you're experiencing gas pains. She's like, do you want something more for the pain? And I was like, yes, please. That is my biggest tip to you. If you are in pain, tell them. They don't know. And the stuff they give you for pain is amazing. After that, I was able to get some sleep. I slept for a while. And then I woke up and felt great. Was drinking water bottles. I had to drink 2 water bottles before I could leave. And I was on my phone a little bit, but not much. So again, this is literally where I say like, I never charged my phone from like those 2 days. I just like, obviously the day of surgery I was barely on it. I was on it some in the morning. But then after like noon, they put my stuff in the locker. I didn't have my phone. So I didn't even look at my phone from like noon that Wednesday until Thursday at maybe noon. And then I was on it a little bit, but I was also napping. Even in between drinking my water bottles, I was napping. And I was discharged around 5 p.m. that day. So drinking felt not the most comfortable. Honestly, so all I can have is water. Like I'm on a 1-week clear liquid diet after surgery, and in my like 1 week post-op, I'll go over this in more detail. But in the hospital, all I could have was room temp water. And the water tasted terrible. So it was bottled water. I'm sure they did nothing to it, but I remember being sad. Like I like drinking water. Like cold ice water, I could drink it all day. I'm a good water drinker. And it didn't taste good. It tasted like kind of bloody, like irony. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've had water taste like this before. and that was kind of sad, to be honest. And yeah, it just kind of like, you could feel it hit your stomach, and it wasn't that comfortable, but it didn't hurt. You just had to do your tiny sips constantly, which is just like constant little discomforts. So you just kind of, it literally was a constant thought to be like, take a sip, take a tiny sip, take a tiny sip. To be honest, it took forever to get through these water bottles, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I dumped some of it out in the sink in my bathroom because I knew I wasn't gonna be allowed to leave till I drank it, and I just wanted to go home. So you probably don't do that. If they tell you to do something, do it, but I don't regret it. So yeah, once I like got my water bottles down, I was able to go. I dressed myself. So they took my like IV out, obviously, and like all this stuff. I also had blood drawn the next morning, like the morning after, from this arm, so I had a bandage there too. And they already like did your labs and everything while I was there. That was really quick, so I'm guessing everything came back normal, which is also part of why I was allowed to leave. And they pumped me with so many liquids that second day, like probably because it was taking me about a bajillion years to get my water down. Also, my surgeon came in that day and stuff. I'm sure there's like small details I'm leaving out. I'm just trying to tell you the important stuff, like what hurts, what doesn't, what to do, you know, like your surgeon visiting. It is what it is. But yeah, so I started out slow drinking water. I ended slow too. I just dumped out my water bottle, so they thought I got better. But they pumped me with so many liquids. I was literally peeing every 45 minutes on the dot. 30 to 45 minutes. I was like, holy F. But that also got me up and walking. I did like 5 laps around that hospital. I loved walking there. It helped the gas pain so much. My biggest recommendation is walk. Even if you don't drink liquid, walk. It helps so much. Walk and tell them if you're in pain. Those 2 things. Biggest tips. And then yeah, when I was ready to go, I got dressed by myself. I took my compression socks off. I did steal them. I don't know if it's stealing, but I stole them so I could sleep in them, even though I didn't when I got home. I took my barf bag with me because occasionally I felt nauseous. But I never threw up, so that is something. But I didn't know in the car if I would throw up, and there was like twice that I was like, oh, I might. So I brought the bag. Good decision on my part. And then I like walked myself out. She asked if I wanted a wheelchair or if I wanted an escort, but at that point I was just ready to go, and I knew where my boyfriend was. I was like, I'll go. So that was my hospital experience. Honestly, overall, it was great. Like, I feel great. Again, it's like 5 days after, and I've never felt better. I'll get into like how I felt each day after. I'm gonna do a 1 week post-op, but I finally like thought about sitting down and kind of telling you all my surgery experience. And if there is something I didn't answer in this video that you want to know, just comment below and I will respond. You can also follow me on Instagram at Losing Lawyer. I am on there more, so if you like DM me there, I'll probably see it quicker, but I will eventually see your comment on here as well. I keep planning to be posting regularly, so like and subscribe if you want to keep following my VSG journey. I am very happy you are here, and I will see you in my next video, which is 1 week post-op. Woo woo!